Y'all may or may not believe this. I'm sure you'll believe it because this channel is so glitched that something weird always happens. So a few minutes after, actually, as soon as I ended the last live, because um, little one wanted to hang out with Gigi, little one hopped off my lap and went back in her room and started watching her movie on her iPad. So I said, okay, well, I gave her about a good 5 or 10 minutes and she didn't come back and she was just chilling and hanging out. So I said, well, I guess I'll get back on my live and pick up where I left off. So maybe since 15 or 20 minutes after I got off the live, I've just been sitting here going through stories and talking and I wasn't even live. And so I was sitting here because I tweaked my Streamlabs bot, the mod bot. And I was like, okay, this is a good chance for me to see how it works out because I'll be on here, 30, 40 minutes or whatever. It'll give me a chance to check out if the timers work and, stuff like that. Well, I'm sitting there like, well, dang, I know I've been on here at least 20 minutes. How come it didn't post like the first thing that it's supposed to post or whatever? Because I'm not live. I'm such I'm gonna put my picture I'm gonna change my avatar picture and put back up the one from when I was blonde because I think I might be naturally blonde. Hey Elizabeth, how are you? You caught me on my pop-up live. I just been doing random crime stories and you missed little one. Bubby decided that she wanted to come hang out and she wanted to sing and chatter and talk and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? This is earlier when I was live. So I was like, I'm going to get off of here because, um, the G baby is demanding my attention. And as soon as I hit end live, guess what she did? She hopped off my lap and went back in her room and started watching a movie. she, I think she just had to come see what I was doing in here. She heard me probably talking and like, who's my Gigi talking to that's not me? She is. She's so cute. That's my baby. I love her. Okay, so where I left off, Arizona man executed for 8-year-old's 1984 kidnapping murder. Vicki Lynn Hoskins was just 8 years old in 1984 when she was snatched off her bicycle in Tucson, Arizona by Frank Atwood, who killed her and dumped her body in the desert. On Wednesday, he was put to death for the crime. Yeah, no, talking to somebody that's not her. She was not trying to have that. She had to come and see who was getting my attention. So and she knows like when I'm doing a live. She's only like 2.5, but she knows like when I'm doing a live. So she likes to sing and all that kind of good stuff. I couldn't get her to sing her ABCs though. She just wouldn't do it tonight. She's like, no. But she was just singing like random syllables. An Arizona man has been put to death by lethal injection for the abduction and murder of an 8-year-old more than 3 decades ago. Frank Atwood, 66, was executed at 10:16 a.m. on Wednesday at the Arizona State Prison Complex in Florence, Arizona, hours after the U.S. Supreme Court denied his 11th hour appeal attempts, according to court documents, officials, and state prison records. He had been convicted in the 1984 murder of Vicki Lynn Hoskins. Yeah, you know what? That's weird. That is kind of cat-like. I love cats, and they do that. They like, oh no, you can't pay attention to anyone but me. But then when you want their attention, it's like, oh no, I don't want to be bothered with you right now. And that's kind of her, because I can't. If I randomly go up to her and I'm like, Bubby, can I have a hug? And she'll be like, no. no, Gigi. But then she'll come to me and she's like, give me kiss. She's so sweet. Oh, Hoskins was abducted by Atwood on September 17th, 1984, after riding her bicycle home from mailing a birthday card to her aunt, according to the Arizona Attorney General's office. Atwood later dumped the 18-year-old's lifeless body in the desert and fled to Texas, prosecutors said. In 1985, a hiker found the little girl's remains near Tucson, Arizona. Today, Arizona carried out another execution of an inmate sentenced to death nearly 35 years ago. Arizona Attorney General Mark Brnovich said in a statement on Twitter on June 8th, to an innocent child whose life was brutally taken and a family that has had to endure decades of suffering, Arizonans will never forget. Atwood had multiple convictions in California related to lewd and lascivious acts as well as kidnapping of two minors prior to the murder, officials said. In May 1984, however, he was paroled by the state of California on his kidnapping sentence. He traveled to Tucson months later, effectively violating his post release conditions. Days after arriving there, investigators say Atwood snatched Hoskins from the neighborhood near her home and ultimately killed her. So much wrong with everything that I just read in these last two paragraphs. Three sentences and a million things wrong. Red flags, bells, whistles, sirens, air raid sirens, tornado whistles, all going off at the same time. Atwood had multiple convictions in California related to lewd and lascivious acts. He should never have been able to get away with so many lewd and lascivious acts because we already know that people who offend in that way are just going to offend again, as well as kidnapping of two minors prior to the murder. So before he murdered this baby girl, he had already had multiple lewd and lascivious act charges. Plus, he had already kidnapped at least two other minors. And California decided it was a good idea to parole him, which basically means he got off early on his sentence. I'm not sure what exactly the details of his sentence, but I mean, with parole, depending on the charges and the state, you could have like a 30-year sentence and get out in 5 or 2 with parole. Yeah, he should never have been on the streets. I get at the time that he kidnapped and murdered this child, he should have still been sitting in a prison in California for kidnapping the other two. She is so precious. Look at her, little softball player. One of the most sacred duties of public servants is to provide a voice for people who are unable to effectively speak for themselves, Brnovich also said on Twitter. Today, Arizona spoke on behalf of 8-year-old Vicki Lynn Hoskins. Atwood's execution was ordered by the state's attorney general in January. Capital punishment is the appropriate response to those who commit the most shocking and vile murders because it ensures the last word still belongs to the innocent victims who can no longer speak for themselves. Brnovich also previously said, I am very proud of the hard work that our legal team has put into making sure that justice is done in this case, from our trial prosecutors to our appellate division, to make sure that this execution is carried out and justice is served. The condemned Arizona man's lawyers, however, who previously described the case against Atwood as, quote, shaky, unquote, blasting the state's evidence as, quote, fundamentally unfair and unreliable. unquote, according to additional court filings obtained by Oxygen.com. They also accused the prosecutors of withholding a prominent evidence that could have exonerated Atwood and, quote, cemented the case against a third party suspect, unquote. I know, right? Her freckles are absolutely adorable. I know defense lawyers have to, it's a job, you know, because everybody is entitled to a vigorous defense. But I don't think if I were an attorney, I could separate myself from who I am enough. I don't think I could compartmentalize enough to be able to defend, to properly defend someone who is accused of a crime like this and who has most likely committed the crime that they're accused of. I don't think I could be a defense attorney and give them that type of defense that they deserve or that they're entitled to. Yeah, counsel with zeal, and I don't see how. I commend attorneys who are able to put themselves aside and do the job that they're assigned to do. I personally would not be able to do that. And as a matter of fact, that factored into the Corey Bigsby case because it's my understanding that that attorney stopped, his first attorney stopped representing him because of the type of charges that he may potentially face regarding missing Cody Bigsby. So I commend that lawyer also for being able to not separate himself from who he is and refusing to represent someone in a situation like this. So it kind of goes both ways, you know. I'm glad for the ones who can separate and compartmentalize because otherwise we wouldn't have a fair and impartial judicial system. But I'm thankful also for the ones who can't and who have to take the moral high ground and say, you know what, I just can't defend you on these charges. It goes against everything that I stand for. So kind of a two-way street on that. The condemned, okay, we read that part. Atwood's legal defense team had also countered that lethal injection was an unconstitutional method of capital punishment, insisting a prior spine condition the 66-year-old suffered from would exacerbate the pain experienced during his execution. For him to, probably why PDs don't last long, that's a legal term. Everyone deserves a defense, but agree, I couldn't do that either. I doggone sure couldn't. But for him to have, this always gets me, like, I'm not pro death penalty and I'm not anti death penalty. I think it's a case by case and situational type thing. And depending on how solid a case is, because we do see a lot of cases where people have been wrongfully convicted and those convictions are being overturned. But I think that we are at a point with DNA and all the digital evidence and stuff that can be put out there that we should eventually come to a point where false convictions are just not a thing, or false conviction or an absolutely rare fluke. But as it stands right now, I'm neither for nor against. Like I said, case by case and situational. But for someone to have committed the atrocity that he committed and then have the nerve to say, basically, I know I did this horrible thing to this person unexpectedly, without permission, most likely painfully, but have some consideration for me because my back is messed up. You know, I I don't deserve to die because my back is messed up. Well, she didn't deserve to die because she was 8 years old and full of life. It's unconstitutional because it's going to cause me extra pain. Well, how much pain did you cause her? How much suffering did you cause her family and her friends and her loved ones? You've had 30 plus years on death row to prepare for the day that you are going to meet your maker after snatching her life from her so suddenly, unexpectedly, and without cause. Yeah, he was a horrible person. A horrible person. Says Atwood had a lengthy criminal record stretching back to 1989 and was convicted of 44 separate disciplinary infractions while incarcerated, according to online state prison records obtained by Oxygen.com, including physical assault, disorderly conduct, indecent exposure, and numerous other counts. So he was in jail. He couldn't even get it right in jail. Most people who are that type of person actually do well institutionalized. But then you have the ones like him who are just so far gone and they can't even do right in an institution. He was still in there being a pervert with indecent exposure charges. There are currently approximately 111 inmates on Arizona's death row, according to state officials. As many as 22 of them have exhausted their appeals. Atwood's execution was the second in the state in under a month. On May 11th, 66-year-old Clarence Dixon was put to death for the 1978 rape and killing of Arizona State University student Deanna Baudouin. I don't know. I am not really familiar with all the details of this case. I saw the headline, I skimmed through the article, and I don't know, it just kind of, he don't look like nothing wrong with him other than evil. But I doubt he was diagnosed with anything. You know, he's just one of those bad seeds. I mean, it's just a case where it is what it is, and he's just a bad seed. I do want to share one more picture of Vicky Lynn, this beautiful 8-year-old girl. And I love this picture because I had that exact same dress. I had that dress, same material and all. That red material has tiny white polka dots in it. I had the dress and I loved it so much that my grandma actually had another dress made for me from the same material, and it was like a sundress. She looked so happy. Yeah, some people are just bad. Some people are just born bad. And he sounds like one of those people who are just born bad. Some people aren't, it's just not meant for good. She is, and I feel so sorry for her. You know, it's crazy because I was thinking, and it's crossed my mind several times, you know, in the course of watching these cases and covering these cases, that it seems like they always kill the cutest, sweetest, smartest, quirkiest, most adorable kids. You know, like all kids, I love all kids. I don't care. People say there's no such thing as an ugly baby, but yes, there's such a thing as an ugly baby. But I even love the ugly babies. I'm trying to tell you, I had an ugly baby once of my own. Don't tell nobody. Shh. But it always seems like the Oakley Carlsons, the Harmony Montgomerys, the Summer Wellses, just so freaking cute and full of life and spark. you know. Heaven. I can't remember her last name because I've covered a few Heavens, but she's the one on my intro. Heaven. Her story, she was just so spunky. Like she was the type of kid that when she grew up, she would have been people just would have loved her because she would have been that person that just spoke her mind, but did it in such a way that you couldn't even be offended. You're right. Maybe that spark is what draws them. Maybe they just have to extinguish that light. Just, I don't know. All right, hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Okay, had to check on my Bubba Tubbas to see if she was asleep. She's still watching. Her favorite show right now is Larva, and it has to be the right one because there's like three. There's the original Larva, there's Larva Island, and then there's Larva Island the movie. And she knows which one she wants to watch and when. And if you put it on the wrong Larva, she will no, it's not gonna work. You gotta fix it. I love that kid. She is so sweet, so cute. All right, so I'm looking to see which one I want to share next. I know which one I want to share. I just got to get to the right tab. I'm going to share this one. Might as well. Another dumb criminal story. You might want to go back and watch the original pop up live. On there was a story of a man who rapped about he was a rapper. He rapped about robbing ATMs and then he got arrested for robbing an ATM. Just a few days after he posted a video about robbing ATMs. Dumb dummy. I can hear Fred Sanford right now. You big dummy. All right, let me see. Okay, you said about Jeffrey Dahmer. They're just bad humans. Dahmer, yeah. Dahmer's a prime example. And it's people like him that I think about when I am on the pro death penalty side of the fence. And it's people like Curtis Flowers that I think about when I'm on the I don't know about the pro death penalty. Maybe we ought to rethink this side of the fence. Because Dahmer, I mean, that was undeniable. I mean, there's no way that he did not commit those gruesome acts. There's no way anyone else did what he was accused of. It was him 100%. And so, with a case like that, I can be for the death penalty because some people don't need to be here. When you find that kind of evil, yeah, there's arguments for both sides. And so, but then again, on most issues, I'm not one of those people who can be so black and white. You know what I'm saying? I can't be a person who's I'm 100% pro gun rights or I'm 100% against gun control. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that because no matter what you're dealing with in life, there are always shades of gray. Not those types of shades of gray, but there's always shades of gray. There's always other colors in the mix. It's not just red, blue, and yellow. You got indigo, you got orange, red, orange, green, yellow. So I can't I can't be like one side of the line or the other on most things in life because there's just too many in betweens. There's too many other factors. Yeah, be careful. Okay. So this one, another dumb criminal. Wisconsin man is accused of killing 6 people after authorities discover a selfie at the crime scene. Nuance, that is the word that I was looking for. I just couldn't pick it out of my brain. A selfie allegedly taken by 34-year-old Travis Lamar Berkeley on January 20th appeared to show him in the basement of the home where the victims were killed. So this must be the victims, because it said he had 6 victims. We gotta find out. A Wisconsin man has been arrested after prosecutors allege he fatally shot 6 people at the Milwaukee duplex in January. According to court records, bail was set at $1 million for 34-year-old Travis Lamar Berkeley, who is charged with 6 counts of felony murder, armed robbery in connection with the slayings of Michelle Williams, 49, Dante Williams, 44, Donald Smith, 43, Charles Hardy, 42, Giovanni Liddell, 31, and Caleb Jordan, 23. Okay, so yeah, we got one female name in here. So this is the 6 victims. I know, right? Berkeley's arrest comes more than 4 months after police and family members reportedly found the bodies of the victims during a January 23rd welfare check. Citing a criminal complaint, when officers responded to the home, a female witness says, "There's 2 bodies down there," according to WISN TV. That day, 3 bodies were reportedly discovered in the basement, partially covered with blankets, while another 3 were found upstairs. However, police believe the killings happened days prior. The home also appeared to have been ransacked, and investigators found multiple shell casings from 2 different guns. An unidentified witness told police the suspect confessed to killing 6 people with his cousin during alleged robbery gone bad, according to the complaint WISN reports. Oh, Bubby, you scared me. She hears me talking to somebody that's not her. Hey, Bubba's. Here you go. Get in Gigi's bed. Here, get in Gigi's bed. Mm. Here you go. Go get in Gigi's bed. All right, guys, I'm gonna finish this one and then I'm gonna. You want to take it off? All right. Give me a second. I will be right back. Okay, let's finish this one off real quick. An unidentified witness told police the suspect confessed to killing 6 people with his cousin during an alleged robbery gone bad, according to the complaint. The witness also alleged Berkeley was seen with a gun, cash, and drugs believed to belong to one of the victims. Your kitty likes kids, huh? Berkeley was taken into custody at a home less than half a mile from the crime scene. She has this app on this iPad that when she makes sounds, it plays back what she says in a weird voice. Bubby. Shh. I'm surprised she didn't say no, Gigi. Okay, less than half. Berkeley was taken into custody at a home less than half a mile from the crime scene, although his unnamed cousin or any other individual has yet to be charged in connection with the crime. Police alleged they linked Berkeley to the killings via cell phone records. A selfie reportedly taken by the suspect on January 20th appeared to show Berkeley in the basement of the home where the victims were killed, police said per the station. Investigators believe he was also wearing one of the victim's glasses in the photo. Wow. Berkeley is the listen to puppy. Wow. Berkeley is next due in court June 15th and was not immediately clear if he has entered a plea to the charges. People's request for comment from his attorney wasn't immediately returned. Thanks, guys, for joining me. I'm going to get out of here. Apparently, the 2 other G babies have gone to sleep, so now she's the last one hanging in there. That's crazy. You kill people and take a selfie at the crime scene wearing one of their glasses. I think this dummy has the other dummy beat. I need to start running a contest for dumb criminal of the month or something. I know, what was he thinking? It's like a country song. What was I thinking? I know he's in jail right now. Like, why did I take that picture? I hope it burns him up for the rest of his life. Like, wow. And probably didn't get anything worth getting. So 6 people lost their lives. It's a what, baby? Okay, Bubby, say good night. Say good night, people. Okay, say bye bye, people. She don't like to hear the word good night. She thinks I'm gonna put her to bed, but that's exactly what I'm about to do. All right, guys, thanks for joining me, and I will catch up with y'all tomorrow.